You're watching the latest updates from Egypt on Qnews. Let's move on to the latest developments. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met King Harald V of Norway during his official visit to the country as part of a European tour. Egypt's presidential spokesperson said that King Harald welcomed the president and praised Egypt's pivotal role in Africa and the Middle East, highlighting the growing ties between the two nations. The leaders discussed ways to enhance bilateral relations, coordinate on international issues of mutual interest, and reviewed Egypt's efforts to mediate for peace and stability in the region. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has met with Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre today as part of his official visit to Norway. Presidential spokesperson Ahmed Fahmy confirmed that both sides praised the positive developments in bilateral relations, highlighting the importance of enhancing economic, trade and investment cooperation. The discussions also focused on strengthening collaboration in business sectors, chambers of commerce and industry. President el-Sisi emphasized Egypt's interest in expanding investments in green energy, particularly in hydrogen production using renewable sources. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has also met today with Massoud Gharahkhani, the Speaker of the Norwegian Parliament, and members of the Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee during his official visit to Norway. A statement from the presidency spokesperson noted that President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi emphasized the key role of parliamentary cooperation in fostering dialogue between nations. He highlighted the importance of strengthening parliamentary ties between Egypt and Norway to serve their mutual interests. In response, the Norwegian parliamentarians praised Egypt's pivotal role in the Middle East and reaffirmed their support for Egypt's related efforts. Egypt has strongly condemned Israel's seizure of the demilitarized zone along the Syrian border and nearby strategic locations, describing it as an occupation of Syrian land and a blatant violation of Syrian sovereignty. A statement by the Egyptian Foreign Ministry emphasized that this action contravenes the 1974 disengagement agreement and international law and undermines Syria's territorial integrity. Egypt accuses Israel of exploiting the current instability in Syria to impose new realities on the ground. Egypt urges the UN Security Council and international powers to act decisively to ensure Syria's sovereignty over its entire territory. Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation, Dr. Hani Suelem, has participated in the opening session of the World Desalination Conference in Abu Dhabi under the theme Addressing Water Scarcity. The minister highlighted Egypt's challenges in water management due to population growth, limited water resources, and climate change. He noted that Egypt is implementing a comprehensive upgrade of its water systems through projects under the Generation 2.0 irrigation system, which focuses on advanced treatment technologies and desalination to boost food production. Minister of Agriculture and Land Reclamation, Harald V has met with a delegation from the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa to explore future collaboration. The delegation is in Cairo for a workshop to enhance land tenure security for women in Africa. The minister highlighted Egypt's efforts to support agricultural transformation and women's empowerment, expressing Egypt's readiness to collaborate with African countries to improve agricultural value chains and promote socio-economic development. The director of the Cairo International Center for Conflict Resolution, Ambassador Ahmed Nihad Abdul Latif and the commander of the Regional Peacekeeping Training Center in Zimbabwe, Admiral Gottlieb Bandini, have signed a cooperation agreement to support efforts for peace and security in Africa. The agreement aims to enhance collaboration between the two centers, focusing on training for UN peacekeeping missions, African Union peace support operations, and related topics like counter-terrorism, women's peace and security, and climate change. Egypt's chief of mission at the International Organization for Migration, Carlos Oliver Cruz, has commended Egypt's National Coordination Committee for combating and preventing irregular migration and human trafficking for leading the implementation of the National Strategy for Combating Irregular Migration. This praise came during the opening of a two-day youth conference in Cairo concerning migration. Cruz reaffirmed Egypt's commitment to addressing the root causes of irregular migration as outlined in the National Action Plan for 2024-2026. The International Labour Organization, ILO, hosted a two-day workshop in Cairo today titled Gender Sensitive Just Transition. The workshop is part of the ILO's Decent Work program in North Africa, funded by the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency. According to a press release from the ILO, the workshop aims to develop a roadmap for promoting gender-sensitive green transitions in Egypt. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has stressed the importance of reviving Egypt's leather industry, announcing the launch of 100 ready-to-operate factories designed to attract investments and boost exports. He expressed gratitude to the Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development and the Minister of Industry for their efforts and called on the private sector to seize the opportunity with full government support. The Information and Decision Support Center of Egypt's cabinet has shared videos from the National Council for Women showcasing the 16 Days of Activism campaign against gender-based violence. The videos detail the services offered by the Women's Complaints Office and highlight the international campaign initiated by the United Nations to combat violence against women and girls. Tourism expert Mohammed Farouk has projected that Egypt's inbound tourism will see a significant boost in 2025, with projected increase of 20 to 25% compared to this year. By the end of 2024, tourist arrivals are set to exceed 15 million, a historic high, while average tourist spending has risen by 10% over the previous year. Minister of Education Muhammad Abdul Latif has hosted Greek Minister of Education Kyriakos Periakakis and the Greek ambassador to Egypt to discuss future cooperation in pre-university education. The Egyptian minister emphasized the importance of digital learning and artificial intelligence, stating that integrating these technologies into classrooms and assessments is key to equipping students for the demands of the 21st century. Agriculture Minister Harald V has affirmed Egypt's commitment to enhancing its economy through stronger competition policies during a seminar on a UNICTAD peer review of the nation's competition laws. Farouk outlined recent amendments to anti-monopoly laws addressing practices like price collusion and market dominance, while improving transparency in public tenders and bids to foster fair competition. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli chaired a meeting today to follow up on the work of the Committee for Reforming and Restructuring Economic Entities. The meeting was attended by the Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Dr. Rania Al-Mashat, and Dr. Hussein Isa, the committee's head of the Technical Secretariat. The Prime Minister stressed the importance of continuing efforts to reform and restructure economic entities to increase their efficiency, enhance their contribution to the national economy, and resolve existing challenges. Egypt's Cabinet Information Center has reported that the country's net international reserves have exceeded pre-global crisis levels, reaching $46.95 billion in November 2024. This marks a significant rise from $35.17 billion in November 2023. The report highlights a surge in foreign exchange sources, including a six-fold increase in net foreign direct investment to $46.1 billion in 2023-2024, and a 39% growth in exports totaling $41.7 billion. The National Press Authority, led by engineer Abdel-Sadiq Al-Shourbagi, organized an extensive workshop today with Finance Minister Ahmed Kuchuk. The session focused on enhancing cooperation between the authority and the ministry in the coming period, discussing priority issues and reviewing the ministry's plans to improve the quality of life for Egyptian citizens and boost economic performance. Shourbagi emphasized that the Ministry of Finance is successfully addressing challenges across various sectors and praised its efforts to implement financial policies that stimulate economic growth while improving living conditions through social protection packages in line with the political leadership's directives. Chairman of the Suez Canal Economic Zone, Walid Gamal-Eddin, led the groundbreaking ceremony for the Chinese Henaway luggage manufacturing project at the Qantara West Industrial Zone. The $50 million project, covering 120,000 square meters, is expected to create 3,000 jobs. Gamal-Eddin emphasized that the Qantara West Industrial Zone embodies Egypt's national aspirations and the developmental vision of the Suez Canal Zone. And that brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here is what we have been covering. Egypt's President El-Sisi and King Harald of Norway discuss strengthening ties and regional mediation. The Norwegian parliament praises Egypt's vital Middle East role and reaffirms support for efforts. And Egypt condemns Israel's actions and urges decisive global response to protect Syria's sovereignty. And that's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments. Thank you for watching.